Party people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and happy Saturday to you all. Today I'm making a layout for the Cocoa Vanilla design team and I am playing with the super fun Legendary collection. This is my second layout with the Legendary collection. I have my first process up on my channel and I made a layout featuring two of my favorite boys. And for this layout I decided to challenge myself and see if I could make a girl page with the Legendary collection. I've seen a few of my fellow design team members do this where they decided to push the envelope, and even though Legendary is clearly a masculine themed collection, to make something for girls. So I figured when I don't know where to start, you know what I do? I make a rainbow. So I decided to make a rainbow for this layout. I pulled out pretty much the same colors of papers that I used on my previous page, and this is a free cut file from the Paper Issue Store. I will link it in the description box if you want to grab it for your own. All the cut files on Paper Issues are free, so if you ever just need a little bit of inspiration, you don't know where to start, and you have a cutting machine, highly recommend going over to Paper Issues and picking one out. But I just picked out a rainbow that had some clouds attached to it, and now I'm doing this the old-fashioned way. And let me just tell you, I don't like doing it this way. I don't like having to trace and cut, but when you're doing like really ornate backing like this, it's just the easiest way to do it is to just do the tracing and the cutting. Sorry you have to see so much of my hair, but I kind of have to get really close to my cut file to get all the bits and pieces trimmed out. Thankfully, this rainbow only had 5 bands of color, so it was kind of perfect for this collection because I only had 5 distinct colors that I could use. But it just worked out really well. So I went with an orange, a yellow, a green, a lighter blue, and then a darker blue, and then just used my glue in my fine line bottle to glue my bands on and my fussy cutting scissors to trim them out. And then I just decided to back my clouds on some white paper that had some triangles, just to not leave the empty space behind those clouds. And then in the final layout, you barely see the pattern paper that I used to back my clouds, but I guarantee you if I didn't pack my clouds, then it'd be all you could see and it would just be horrifying. So I just, again, filled it in using my pencil to trim it and then chopped it up and glued it down. And there you go. There is my finished rainbow cloud monstrosity. This took the longest part of the layout just because, you got to go back and forth and do some trimming and some editing and some finessing to make it work. But I love how it came out in the long run. And so I decided to do some stuff that I normally do, which is tear paper. So I tore a bit of that gray background paper just because I wanted my layout to look like sky, and I thought it would help to have my page be split in half. I didn't want my rainbow to go directly on the white cardstock, so I ripped that paper in half and then just glued it down with my ATG. I'm working on Basil cardstock, which is my favorite white cardstock to use for layouts. There is like no mixed media on this page. And after I was finished, I was just like, you guys, what did I do here? There's no mixed media. But I guess it's fun to do things that are a little bit out of the envelope and challenge yourself a little bit. And so that's what I did with this page. So there you go. Now you see my fun rainbow on my background. And I'll tell you the photo that I'm scrapbooking. So I'm scrapbooking a picture I took of myself at pinning. I'm still scrapbooking pinning. I'm probably going to be scrapbooking pinning for a long time because there are lots of photos to go through. And this is a photo, it's a selfie. I actually took it in the bathroom mirror at the end of the night after, the ceremony was finished and after I gave my speech and after I got my pin. And I was just feeling like super proud of myself. And so I went into the bathroom and, bathrooms sometimes have the best lighting of any room that you're in. And I just took a full body picture in the mirror. Like I kind of kicked my leg up Princess Diary style. And I was just so happy and so proud. And so that's the photo that I'm documenting. I printed it 3x4, which is my favorite size to scrapbook. I almost never scrap square photos. I like the 3x4 ratio, and that's the photo that I'm working on. So while I was babbling to you about pinning and my photo, I just kept working on my background. So I stuck down some little clouds. The cut file comes with the outline, and then you actually get the cloud. So what I did was I stuck down the outline, and then I used some foam tape to pop up the actual clouds just for height and dimension. You guys know I have a problem with foam tape. Like, if there's foam tape anonymous, they probably should send me because I have a serious issue with foam. I use a lot of it on my layouts, but that's just the way I work. So now what I decided to do, which is Something that I rarely do, honestly, is put my title down first. I knew when I designed my layout that I wanted my photo to be at one end of the rainbow and I wanted my title to be at the other end of the rainbow, and I knew what my title was before I even started, which is why I'm putting my title down first. I wanted my title to be Superstar because then I could put a bunch of stars on my page, because since this is a boy collection, I don't like, let's have a little bit of a chat. I really don't like when we say things like that, because I think collections are just neutral. Like, I don't know if any collection is just designed solely for boys. Like, it is a masculine feeling collection, but like I said, I've seen a lot of members on my design team doing really fun things. Anita did this crazy thing where she die cut a bunch of flowers and backed a butterfly cut file with the collection, and it's gorgeous. So I don't know if we can say that this is a boy collection, so I'm making it work for a girl layout. It is a great collection with a lot of really poppy colors and some interesting die cuts, and I'm making it work to document this page. So I knew I wanted my title to be Superstar because I knew I wanted to use a bunch of stars. After flowers and hearts, stars are my favorite shape to play with, and I think it was really fun to scatter the stars across the page, especially since I'm working on this sky and rainbow motif, because you know what else is in the sky besides rainbows and clouds? Stars. Lots of stars. So I realized that I made a little bit of a mistake with this. I thought I had picked up the pack that I had opened from my last layout, and I actually ended up opening a brand new pack. So I just grabbed those blue stars that I used on my previous layout, and I separated it. It's 3 stars, like pretty much stacked on top of each other, so they're concentric in shape and size. And I'm working on making an embellishment cluster where my title is. I knew I wanted to put a star. There was that medal that said legendary, which was just kind of perfect for this page because I deserve a medal for surviving nursing school, and it was a legendary event, so it was perfect for this page. And then I realized I just wanted a tag behind my photo. So I pulled out my itty bitty Sizzix Sidekick. This die cutting machine is super fun for small things. It sits on my desk when I don't want to pull out my huge big shot, and I just quickly die cut a tag using my scrapbook.com nested dies. I will link everything in the description box if you're interested, but the Sidekick is super cool. It's like tiny, it has like no footprint, it weighs like nothing. It is amazing for die cutting small things. So I just quickly die cut a tag out of the remainder of that rainbow paper, and now I'm working on embellishing my page. So you see I have a bunch of stars on my desk right now because I'm doing what I said I was going to do, which is scatter some stars. So I decided to put 2 stars on each of my cloud clusters. So I put 1 star kind of behind the cloud, like on my background paper, and then I put another star on top of the cloud. And I'm trying to just vary the position of where the stars are that are peeking out behind the clouds. So I put those down first, and then I go ahead and add my second star. And I'm trying to vary things to add interest. I am a big fan of formulas, but I don't want my formulas to be identical, if it makes sense. So each formula had the outline of the cloud, a cloud popped up on foam, and then a star tucked underneath one cloud, and then another star tucked on top of it. But not every formula is the exact same. And so if I was giving you a little bit of a design idea, that would be my design idea, is to pick a formula and then switch up the placement of where you're putting things, because I think that really adds visual interest and makes your layouts pretty fun. So now I'm just working on building my title cluster. You see I ended up switching that medallion piece from the left side to the right side, and then I decided to pop half of my title up on foam. So the super is stuck right down to the layout, and then I put the star up on foam, and then I went ahead and added a few more stars underneath it, and I added a sticker from the accessory sheet on top of that, and that's what builds my photo cluster. And so wow, that's my title cluster. Now I'm working on my photo cluster. So on my photo cluster, I stuck down that tag. I added one of those circular frames. I'm just going ahead and doing what I normally do, which is embellishing and building height and adding embellishments at different layers. So I add another one of those like tabs between my photo. I chose to map my photo only once for this one, just as there was already enough color on the page and I didn't think I needed giant photo mats. And then I'm adding my star. And I'm adding a label that says extreme on the bottom left side of my photo. And if I remember correctly, no, I do one more thing. I pull out a sticker from the accessory pack and I hit it with my powder tool to take the stickiness off. I do this all the time when it comes to scrapbooking because cardstock stickers are great embellishments, but you've probably heard me say this before. I have commitment issues, and so I don't like I don't want to put something down and be like stuck to committing to it. So I like to take the stickiness off of cardstock stickers and use them as die cuts. So I picked up a tag from the accessory sheet, stuck that down to my huge cluster because I wanted a little bit more dimension and a little bit more like interest, and now that pretty much completes the cluster. So I use my Scrapbook.com foam tape I'm fussing with my rainbow, but I use my Scrapbook.com foam tape to anchor my whole photo cluster down just because, height and dimension. Also, this foam tape is like saving my life because now I don't use like craft foam. Well, not as often. I don't use craft foam. It makes it a lot easier to stick things down and a lot faster. So I realized I had all this empty space at the bottom of my layout, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do. So I just ripped a little bit of my paper and distressed the edges of it, and I'm going to add another bit of that rainbow cardstock to the bottom of my layout. And it's just because the bottom of the layout felt too white and too empty. And I needed a little bit of color at the bottom to balance it out. And can we talk about how good that looks, just adding that tiny little bit of pattern paper? I think it was definitely the touch this layout needed. So I did that. I went ahead and stapled down the edges of my white cardstock after I attached that rainbow piece, and then I go ahead and add a few more stars. So now I have stars coming up the bottom from where that paper was ripped, and I add a die cut that says "You're rad" because you're totally rad and I'm totally rad and we're all rad together. And then I add a few enamel dots across the page, and that pretty much completes this layout. And I had so much fun making this page, so much fun playing with all the colors in the Legendary collection and the stars and this rainbow. It was a really fun layout to put together, and it's not something that I think is terribly difficult that you can't recreate if you're interested in this shape. If you just grab a rainbow, put your title at one end of the bow and put your photo at the other end, I think it's just a really fun, interesting layout to do and not a design that you see very often. So after this, I go ahead and scatter some enamel dots and I call this page done. So if you do want close-up photos, there are close-up photos on my Instagram page and on the Coco Vanilla blog. So feel free to head over there to see the photos. Also, if you go to the Coco Vanilla blog, it tells you where you can purchase the Legendary collection for yourself. In North America, I know my little scrapbook store still has it in stock. So if you're in the US or Canada and you're interested, that's where I would go to purchase it. So yeah, that's all I have for you today, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined. Let me know what you think about this layout. Until next time, keep it crafty and have the very best day, and I will see you around. Bye!